Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Kevin McDonald, and you knew that. If you didn't know that, you should know that because this is Positive Talk. And we've got a great guest for you today. As you know, I'm so lucky. I'm so blessed. I get great guests all the time. And they're talking about all kinds of interesting things that are very important to all of us. And this particular gentleman is an expert in what you would call soft sales, and we're going to talk about that and a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'll introduce him right now, and so that I don't get it all messed up again, would you please? Because this one is a little complicated. Would
But
you?
think
Would you?
about that. If I were John or David or Kevin, people will not always remember the name, but because the name is Evgeny, and I usually get a call, hi, can I please speak with I know it's me. So people remember the name. So it's Evgeny. Don't worry about that. You're not the first one, you're not the last one. I'm totally fine with that.
I won't be the last one. I can guarantee you that. But it's great to have you here, and you've written a book, and the name of the book is.
Success, soft skills in technical sales.
And so let's talk about first of all, how long has the book been out?
The book is relatively short because I wanted somebody to be able to read the book with literally 3, 4 hours, so 130 pages. And the reason why, because we really don't have a lot of attention and focus. So if I give you a book for 300 pages, you're not going to read it. I don't read books so long. And I want it to be to the point and relevant to people and not just tell many, many, many stories without getting to the point.
Well, there are lots of books that are like that, or that are really important. Like, I don't know if you've heard of the 1 Minute Manager,
Yes,
um,
I love it,
which is
actually.
a very short book, and it's got a few examples, but it really gets to the point of being a 1 minute manager and how to be successful. And your book is more about sales, soft sales, and in the technical world. But I would submit to you, sir, that sales is something that is um, able to be used by everybody. Anybody that's in sales, anybody that talks to people and is looking to develop stuff, that soft sales and the ability to do that is more than just technical stuff. Would you agree?
100% agree. And I will take it even further. We all in sales. Me being on this podcast is in a way sales. I needed to pitch the idea, even so somebody else started to pitch the idea and I continued. Where we're going to eat dinner could be a sales. What we're going to do tonight and which vacation we're going to go to, it's all in a way sales. Surprisingly, when I present the idea to engineers, they're like, no, we're not in sales. And then I ask them, like, hey, what do you want another monitor? He's like, yeah. Don't you need to go to pitch the idea to your manager? What do you want a desk that go up and down? Or do you want to create a new program or have a new project? You all need to pitch the idea to your management. So in a way, we all in sales.
And you're right when you look about it, and even in our personal lives and in our professional lives, we're always trying to sell something, even if it's just selling ourselves.
You know who are best in sales?
Who?
Kids, because they don't understand rejection, they don't understand the stuff. They just kind of pile through and they use all intimidation techniques, all very nice techniques, smile, wave. They have so many different techniques and they don't even know they use all of them. And then in one point, we understand that "Oh, I'm vulnerable. What does somebody tell me no? And we lose everything we learn in childhood and we become shy and we're afraid to get out of a comfort zone. We're afraid to ask for guidance. We're afraid to be vulnerable. And we sometimes lose this, unfortunately, even so we still have it somewhere.
Well, one of the most interesting parts to me is cold calling. And when you are not afraid to cold call, when it doesn't matter what, if you're just interested in meeting somebody, just to meet them and to talk about what you do and stuff, that puts a different light on it, that rather than, well, I'm going to go talk to a stranger and they're going to reject me, and then I'm going to feel rejected, and then I'm going to be sad, and then I'm not going to want to do it anymore. You know what I mean?
I think Michael Jordan summarized this the best way, in a very simple way. I missed all the shots I never took. So if you never try, if you never even understand what's going to happen, you're never going to know. And I do agree with you. Cold calling, door-to-door selling is probably one of the best way to get a person out of the comfort zone, understanding that rejection is part of our life and nothing bad happened. It's all good. We learned something from this, or maybe didn't learn anything from that, but it's definitely in many cases a repetition of the work, adjustment of the work, adjustment our pitch, adjustment our tone, adjust the way we connect to people, going to make the difference on the long run. I think this is why golf, even so I don't like golf as a game, it's a very interesting game because it's not about winning one game or doing one good shot. It's about consistency all the time.
Yeah. And if you'll look at a golfer, especially the professional guys,
Mhm.
they use all kinds of tools to be able to set that up. They use mind, vision, visioning the shot before they even address the ball and stuff. They use all kinds of techniques to focus themselves, don't they? Are you there?
You got
Uh-oh.
disappeared for a second. I'm sorry
Oh,
about
you
that. I'm
did.
not. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened with the internet. You were talking about golfers and that they use different techniques, and I definitely agree with you. And visualization. There's actually a couple of interesting books. There is a book, one called Checklist Manifesto, and the other one I forgot the name right now. We'll look at this later on. But this basically they were talking about success when people in a situation where people can fail and people that are able to succeed are the people that always visualize and kind of play pretend. What will happen, I'll do that. What will happen, I'll do that. And one of the examples I remember really really well is a person was able to to land a big airplane that is pretty much impossible to land when they're doing the simulation later on, and he was able to do it. And the reason why, because every time he will fly, he will have visualization games, what he will do if. And in the end, he actually pretended he's not flying a big airplane. He pretended he flying like a small Cessna, like a planner almost, and use this to kind of trick his mind and forget that the plane cannot actually glide in this size.
Yeah, and because he's creating a situation that makes sense to his brain, right?
Yes. And I think it's very relevant to connect to people, to sell to people, to predict what potentially happened, to research about the people to understand how we connect with them. Because right now, the reality I mentioned about very short attention span for people, it's also in sales. If I cannot interest Kevin in the first few minutes of the talk, in something. This could be a product, but probably as a human being. I need to connect to Kevin on a human being level. And only after that, Kevin will care about what I'm trying to sell you. Because there's probably other Evgeniys, maybe it's a different name, that are trying to sell you a similar product.
Exactly. And I was having this debate with somebody who's a little bit younger than me, and she was saying that sales has evolved, that it's no longer what it used to be, and now is a lot more digitally involved in emails and MailChimp and all of these things that you would use. And my contention is, and I would really love your opinion on this, my intention would be it's based upon developing a relationship with that individual rather than just feeding them information. We're developing a relationship. What do you think?
I agree, and I want to elaborate what really changed. 20 years ago, you as a salesperson needed to educate the customer because the customer didn't know about all the features in the car. The customer didn't know about all the features in a television. So you are doing a lot of education. In reality, right now, a customer can go to ChatGPT or to Google and understand the features very, very, very fast. They can read reviews. So you as a salesperson no longer educating because the customer already an educated customer. And instead of that, you need to go deeper. Like what else beside the feature? Maybe helps them to compare to something else in case they potentially don't know, or go deeper in the feature or people don't know, or helps them explaining the payments of this particular products, or how it's gonna help somebody else because review is not always right as well. But there's definitely a relationship and not just features and speeds and feeds.
Well, and especially let's pick um, a television set,
Mhm.
which is most people do a little bit of research when they go
Yes.
in and they look on the internet and they look at reviews and they say this company is better than this company and that kind of thing. But you as a salesperson, when they come in, how do you adapt that message because they're a lot smarter than they used to be and at least more educated because they're doing more research, but how do you adapt that into making it you need to buy this product from me from this store and here's why? Is that part of that?
I think what I will do, if you ask me, I will not gonna ask what do you want, or if they ask me, hey, I want Sony XYZ 65-inch, 70-inch, whatever it is, I'll stop them and tell them, I'm gonna show you the television you want, but before we go there, I would like to understand a bit about your environment, if it's okay by you. So here's two things I did. First, I don't want to just show them. I want to care and understand what exactly they need. Second, I ask their permission. I didn't just agree because I asked them. If they didn't agree, why would they be there? It kind of makes sense. Now I'm allowed to pitch them more information because they allow me to pitch. And in this case, I will go on discovery mode to understand, hey, how big is your living room? Or maybe it's not a living room, maybe it's your bedroom. Do you plan to play games on this television or watch movies? What is the size to the TV? So kind of understand they're around. Hey, do they have a big window? Maybe it's going to be very light. If it's a lot of light coming in, we need a television with more brightness. And by doing this, I hope I will build the trust that I know what I'm talking about, and I want to find a television that is actually going to be for their particular environment. And from there, I'm going to go show them different models and let them choose. There's other techniques of of showing very expensive models and then go down, but I don't want to go there because I think it is a bit of manipulation.
And sometimes you can get caught in that game a little
Yes.
bit if you're not really good at it.
Yeah, but understanding what they need and why they're buying, because sometimes people come in and say, hey, I don't care which television it is, I just needed 60-inch because it's for the trade show, for example. Or they actually do care because they plan to play online games. Then it's completely different idea.
And I'll tell you, I was a lady shoe salesman when I was a kid, and there was a
The
real
name is
difference.
not El Bundy, correct?
No, close, but I was working for Nordstrom at the time. But there is a real difference between how men and women shop for things, and and how you need to approach each of those individuals differently because they really have different ideas and different thoughts. But when we come back, we're going to talk about that. We need to take a quick break, and we are again talking with Eugene. Okay.
Evgeny. I like the
Uh,
show.
I do apologize. anyway. So we're having a great discussion. We're talking about sales, and at one point, I also want to talk about preparation for being a good salesman. One of which is taking improvisational drama classes or doing some public speaking or doing something like that. We'll ask him about all that stuff when we come back. He's also got a book out that I want you to get. It's a short read, but an impressively good read. And the name of the book again is
Soft skills in technical sales, architecting success
Soft Skills and
in
Technical
technical
Success
sales.
in Technical Sales. And we'll be right back because I want to find out more about when you say soft skills. That's a tough thing for me to say. Soft skills, what do you mean? We'll be right back. Are you looking for a powerful way to grow your brand while making a real difference? Well, Positive Talk is the perfect platform to align your message with inspiration, hope, and meaningful conversations. By sponsoring Positive Talk, your brand will reach an engaged audience that values positivity and connection. People who want to support companies that share their values. Take this opportunity to showcase your business in a space that uplifts, inspires, and creates lasting impact. Don't wait. Email me, Kevin at kmmedia.pro today to learn how you can partner with us and spread positivity while growing your brand. And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. And we're doing something we don't often do on this show, and we're talking about sales and sales techniques and different ways of doing it. Because at one point, as Evgeniy said, is that close? Was that okay?
Close what? Okay,
Close to your
yeah,
name.
it was very close. You were very close. Sorry.
Very good. And what he was saying earlier was that in almost everything that we do, we are selling at one point or another to either ourselves or somebody else. But I want to specifically ask in the book, when you talk about soft skills, what exactly are we talking about here?
As in the industry where I mainly work, called cybersecurity, because this is where I came, we say it's a great question. Think about difference between soft skills and hard skills. Hard skills is the skills where we expect the same outcome, whatever we do. Physics, mathematics, chemistry. If we mix the same ingredients, we expect the same outcome. Programming as well. Soft skills, not always the case. Because with soft skills, I may ask you how you're doing right now. I may ask you how you're doing in 5 minutes, and we'll have a different answer. I may ask you how you're doing, and you just step into the paddle, going to be completely different answer. And if I'm going to ask you how you're doing, how you're doing 5 times in a row, you will probably tell me, Evgeny, what's wrong with you. So definitely different. And people mood is affected. People potentially health could be affect the conversation as well, their mood. There's so many different things that are happening in the world that may affect how the communication is going. This why they're soft. We need to adjust, we need to adapt to what's happening in the conversation.
Yeah, the interesting thing I mentioned that I was a lady shoe salesman, and when you're selling to women, you're selling them shoes. That's an important aspect of their life. They like nice shoes, and they want it's got to go with this dress, and it's got to be this color, and it's got to be comfortable, and all this. Men and most of the really experienced sales guys ended up in the men's store. You know why?
No, actually, now I'm wondering.
Men will come in and say, I want that in a size 12. You got it? You go get it. And they say, great, I'll buy it. And so all of that dancing and stuff really goes by the wayside with guys because they're very direct. They hate shopping. They want to be in, they want to be out. And women like the process of doing all of that. So you really got to know your customer too, don't you?
But there's a but. Not all the men like that, not all the women like that. And in many cases, we need to understand what you mentioned, know the customer. Because in some cases, you're going to talk to someone and they want the information in a particular way. Maybe they want to listen to the information. Maybe they want to see the slides. Maybe they want to touch and see how it feels like, because many people are visual, many people are audio, like or kinesthetic, for example. It's part of the book. It's actually in the book that is playing. And when we pitch an idea, we don't always need to show the slides. In technology, we always like, hello, I'm a salesperson. Let me show you my presentation. But you not always ask the customer, does customer really wants to see your presentation? Oh, let me show you my demo. Did the customer ask they want to see the demo? Did you ask the customer, hey, if there's a preferred way to show you the information, okay, I'm gonna show you the demo, the slides. If there's a different way for me to do it, please let me know. I am here for you. I already know the information. So the adaptability to understand the other side is definitely uber important.
You just brought up a really interesting point for me, and that was I went to a furniture store, wanted to buy a couch. Now the furniture store had a certain way of doing business. Whereas they would sit you down and they say, okay, you want to buy this couch? Well, fill out this credit application. And I said, I want to write a check. I just want to pay for it. I want to pay for it and take it out. Well, after you fill out this credit application, and then we'll take it and to see if you qualify. I said, I don't want to qualify for anything. I want to pay you cash. And he said, okay, I get it. And then he came back with this book of things that he wanted to tell me about his company and what they did and all, and it's like, I want to buy this sofa, that's one that's right here, and I want to pay cash. Can you leave me alone and take my money so that I can do that? And he said, well, it's our corporate policy that we do this and we show this, and it's like, I never went back there again because it was like, I, who's got? Yeah, I was going to give him cash. Who's got time for that kind of stuff? So you got to know your customer.
And you also need to understand that in many cases, we definitely move from not just buying a product to buying a service or subscription. I mean, you're not buying a phone. You may be buying your phone as part of your monthly payment. Not cars yet. Even these cars, they pay lease. Sometimes they include something, but in many cases, you don't buying a software anymore. You pay a monthly fee. And what I'm going with this, that not just selling the product is important, understanding the journey and the customer success later on is become more important later on, because people already understand it's not just to buy the software or the product or the hardware or whatever we're selling, is what will happen after, what will happen when I need help, when the couch stops working, or some mechanism in the couch is not opening. Maybe this couch, we spoke about TVs, the mechanism to open the thing for the food not working anymore. You're going to call the warranty and tell you, who are you? You don't know who you are. So definitely the support later on become very, very important later on.
Well, especially in the field that you are in, which is cybersecurity,
Yes.
because you've got to explain to everybody, okay, we're going to set this up and it's going to be like this, and then, but what if it stops working? Well, then this is what you got. Yeah, you do have to educate everybody, don't you?
Unfortunately, it's not if. In some cases, it's definitely going to stop working, and there's definitely going to be some problems, because this is the world how it's right now. This is the reason why we actually have employment, because there's many issues with cybersecurity and compliances and requirement, and this is why we're helping enterprise and not enterprise customers with cybersecurity features and cybersecurity problems as well.
So when you do that, um, you really have to explain everything to them in either in their home or in the shop or wherever, so that they have a clear understanding of how the process is going to play out. Is that right?
Yes, I mainly work with large enterprises, but the same applicable to homes as well. The idea is that we need to explain to them not in the words I understand, but we need to create metaphors in the words that people that I'm explaining to understand. This could be a simplification of ideas, that I will present the cybersecurity as same as your home. Yeah, pretend you have a home. It has different windows. It has an alarm. It has a fence. It has a dog. It has a camera. Each of the things can do something else. For example, a camera can find the bad guys, but cannot really stop them. A fence will stop the bad guys until one point when they can climb over the fence. If I have 8 windows at home, I need to know I have 8 windows at home because I need to lock all the windows when I leave home. But if I don't know how many windows I have, I will not able to lock them. This is one of the metaphors I can create and talk about them when I'm talking to enterprise customers and we need to explain the idea to secure the environment if I want to give an example. If I talk about somebody that is business oriented, like a manager, VP, or C-level person, then definitely we're not just talking about nuts and bolts. We're talking about the bigger picture. Think about that. You have a manufacturing. If an incident happened, you're not able to produce whatever you're producing, or you're an insurance company, your portal will be down because of the cyber incident. If your portal is down, you're going to lose X amount of revenue because you cannot work with your customers. So you adapt the language to depend on the person who you're talking to and what they care about.
When you install, either for a business or a home, and you install a cybersecurity system, and I just don't know this because I don't have one, never have. Does that help with your homeowner's insurance or your business insurance that you have a system by which you can depend on?
Actually, a very, very good question. For homes, we more rely on physical security. So, going to be more alarms. They're going to definitely help you with your insurance. With enterprises, we have a relatively new thing as called cyber insurance. And cyber insurance definitely asks you many questions in cybersecurity, what's deployed to actually show you how you qualify. And if you don't have certain systems deployed in your enterprise, in your business, you may not be qualified for cyber insurance.
Oh, so there, it's very specific as to what that they
So,
want
yeah,
then.
let's think about that. You're an enterprise. I send you an email. Kevin, can you please forward $2 million? And I'm pretending I'm the CEO of the company. Okay. Kevin don't have anything installed in the enterprise that checked that it's not actually not a CEO. Kevin didn't look on what this guy, he just went and transferred the money. So we can blame Kevin in one point, but then we see, oh, Kevin never had an education, we call it security awareness, to understand to understand that the email didn't come from the CEO. It's the company fault. Is the company fault because company didn't equip Kevin with all the tools to understand what's happening, or they didn't put systems that even block such email in advance, and the email will never came to Kevin as well.
And I would venture to guess that take a Walmart as an example,
Mhm.
that they have cameras, and I know that they have cameras everywhere, and they have that specifically for a reason, because it retards um, shoplifting, and they can catch more shoplifters. And I don't know what the numbers are, and as far as how much it lowers their costs, but that's got to have an impact when you're talking to insurance companies and police people and security people and stuff like that. That if you've got every inch of that store covered in cameras, um, but then there's got to be somebody to watch the camera, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. Maybe in the future going to be AI that's watching the camera, but right now we do have technologies that helping us, but still it's a manual process. And I think it's a great example. If I just put many different cybersecurity or physical security controls, but nobody looking on what's happening with the information, then what's the point?
The point is, at the end of the day, you're going to be able to see that somebody stole something, and but you're not going to be able to stop it because it's going to happen anyway.
But
And
here is, the funny examples, even like in the movies. Somebody stole something in a store. And by the way, it's applicable to cyber incident as well. Somebody get into the environment, took something away. There's a log that recorded that something happened. The police, the investigation comes 2 days after, and then what they say in the movie? Oh, my video system, my recording system is rolling out on itself every day. So we don't have the video anymore. We see it in the movies all the time. And guess what? It's happening in the cyber world as well. There is logs or there's not enough logs, but you don't save the logs. enough time that people cannot use the logs, or they don't collect enough logs from all the systems to be able to understand what happened in the environment.
Let me give you an example of something that happens all the time in the world I used to be in. I used to drive a bus for a living, and they had cameras. And they had cameras, the front and the side and the back and stuff. But they only had so much footage available before it rewound itself.
Yep,
Um,
exactly.
and so if somebody were to call in like the next week and say, I fell on your bus and I fell on this particular bus, they wouldn't have the film to back it up anymore. So they got to think about things like that too, right?
Yes, yes. This why there are people that are responsible to understand what we need, but there's also compliances. If you're talking about back to cybersecurity, in some cases, certain jurisdictions and certain companies have to save logs for X amount of time. The same is potentially if you're doing finance, and they ask you to keep the receipts for X amount of time. There are certain industries that ask you to keep the logs and the information for a long time as well. So in a way, we have this covered in particular industries, and if we're doing the stuff correctly, if we're not always doing the stuff correctly.
There's a lot to it, especially when you're talking about cybersecurity and that kind of stuff. That a lot of electronics are involved, and you have to think through all of the ramifications of all of that, and how much is it going to cost to have some guy sitting there, eating Subway and having a Coke, watching the watching everybody and stuff. So, by the way, we're talking with. Sven, can I have your name, please?
Evgeny.
And he's written the book, Architecting Success, The Art of Soft Skills in Technical Sales, Connect to Sell More. And if you go to his website, which is
Offskillstech.ca or .com, you can find a lot about the book, link to the audio version as well, blogs about the book, and many, many different things. And also available on Amazon.ca.com and everywhere in the world as well. You can type my funny name in Amazon as well. I guarantee it's only going to be one Evgeniy Kharam on Amazon, so it's very convenient.
I can pretty much assure you of that, because I've tried. We need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
You're listening to Brushwood Media Network, the best in syndicated talk, news, and entertainment shows.
As you go about your daily life, look closer. As you gather with family and friends who love and support you, look closer. There are youth right in your community who don't have the home, warmth, and healing you have. So look closer. Every year across America, a staggering 4.2 million youth are homeless or trafficked. And for 50 years, Covenant House has worked relentlessly to keep them safe and protected. Tonight, 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed. And tomorrow, they will wake up surrounded by love. They get clean clothes, hot meals, medical care, and a safe place to sleep. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In sites across America to help them fulfill the great promise of their lives. So look closer at Covenant House. To help or get help, go to covenanthouse.org.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald, and we have a great guest with you today. With you, I guess you'd be with me too. And I wanted to ask you. You also do coaching, is that correct, sir?
I started to doing coaching about soft skills, and I usually coach several different types of people. I coach executives, more like CTOs and CEOs that started their own company, sales people, sales engineering people as well, and in some cases, customer success people.
When you say customer success people, what is that? Is that the new way of saying customer service?
Yeah, I think it's customer service. Yeah, you're right. It's
Yeah.
a new way.
Actually, I like that term. customer success, because what you're saying there is that you may be a customer service person here, but your job is to make each customer that you talk to, either on the phone or in person, feel like they've had a successful encounter, which is very unusual for customer service people, because they generally get people that are already really mad by the time they get to them.
They could be two different things. You're absolutely right. It could be people that are mad, or there could be people who just got a product and they want more information or enable a new feature or understand more about it. So, yes, you're right. In many cases, it's people that are angry, but the idea is not to get to the point that people are angry. So, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say I sold you a couch, okay? And you like the couch a lot, and this couch is a magical couch. It has wheels. It's doing many, many different things. And there's a software in the couch that updates the different settings. And there's like a massager, you name it. And I call you every month or send you information every month about what's new with the couch. Will sometimes call you and ask, "Hey, Kevin, are you still good with the couch? Did you try this feature?" And next, let's say 6 months after, something broke in the couch. How angry would you be?
If I bought the couch and it broke 6 months later and I never had contact with them.
No, but you two situations. You never had contact, nobody ever called you. One. Two, somebody always called you, somebody always send you updates and make sure you're happy with the couch.
I might want to take that person on a date who would call me every month, because not everybody calls me. And the other one where, if it's out the door, that's it. We don't want anything to do with it.
So you're still going to be unhappy with the couch that's broke down, but because somebody always took care of you, you know when you're going to call you, when you're going to call them, they will figure out what to do. So you're not angry anymore because the customer success people calling you and making sure that all you needs are taken care before stuff went bad as well.
Well, be still my foolish heart. That means service. And by the way, I just wanted to, it's a forgotten art, it seems like, in our country, is the term of going above and beyond service wise. It doesn't happen very often.
No, unfortunately, but some companies still try and some succeed. Mm, People always, for example, happy with Apple service or some other service. So there's more premier brand in some cases that they say it's important for them to have a service. There's people that want to work for a company because they know it's a good company and they know the company cares about the customers where they're selling this. But I agree with you. In many cases, people just want to make money and don't care about stuff.
The interesting thing is there's a company that was born in Seattle. My dad worked for them for 30 years, and they were called Nordstrom. And Nordstrom has a policy that regardless of the reason why, they will take anything back.
It's a good
And
one.
they didn't, at that time, they didn't advertise a lot, because this was their advertising campaign. Word of mouth, that if it's not right, we'll make it right, or we'll take it back and you can get something that is right. And that became a customer service driven thing that became a really big deal. And to be honest with you, I don't shop there, but so I don't know if it still exists in the same manner. But in their growth period, when they were growing from just a shoe store to a clothing and shoe store, and then um, outlets all over the country, they were that kind of a service company. And it became known that if there were people that wore pants for 2 years and then took it back, and they would get their money back. Not often, but that happened. Um, but that's the customer service that was famous 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. And now it's not the same. I wish it would be the same. I got to ask you, you're a sales guy and a sales aficionado. What do you think of the call systems and the call centers, if you will, that we have today, where everything's automated, and if you want to talk to sales, dial 1. If you want to, and you never get you never get a real person.
I personally don't like them, and I'll explain some of the reasons. One, majority of the problems I'm calling to somehow, the system cannot help me because I came up with some kind of bizarre questions or bizarre issues that I want to ask about them. Two, with the automation in many cases, it's not just one, two, three. They ask you, can you please explain your problem? Guess what? I'm a second time immigrant. My English is definitely not perfect. I have an accent. And in some cases, the damn stupid system doesn't understand what I'm talking to. So, definitely the idea of customer success going down, and I try to press zero or star to get and talk to the human being. I understand why it's happening. I understand the logic behind it. We want to maybe minimize the human being amount of people working there. I think we slowly graduate towards what we call AI chatbots, is when you log into a browser and you put your questions there, and the AI chatbot will explain what's happening. And I think we're actually going to something much better than just some kind of automation that not always logically working well. And in a few years, actually, I'm going to correct myself. I heard stories about AI chatbots helping people with investments, helping basically like an AI agent that's helping you to solve a problem or guide you through a problem. And I think we're definitely moving forward with this. And there is a lot of information there. We're not close to be perfect, but we're definitely moving to be in a way easier communication with the AI bots versus just an automation system that has some kind of a logic.
Now, man, by the way, and Jessica says automated lines
Nice.
suck, and yes, they. Thank you, Jessica, for that insightful comment. And you're right; they actually do suck. And but it's you know we I know that there is a cost ratio involved with superior customer service. It literally it costs more to do good customer outcomes through customer success people. But isn't it worth it?
Maybe for the company, maybe some kind of business executive that think it's better. Maybe for them, yes. I think we need to look on the numbers, how many people are happy with it or not. It's going to be the same idea in a way when the people outsource the customer success to a different country, and then you calling to, I don't know, India, Europe, anywhere else, doesn't matter. I have nothing against any of the countries, but then you're not talking to a local person, and then you have other difficulty problems, or you're not, because in many cases it's really good and really, really amazing. So it's really
I
depend on the company how they build it.
I get the biggest kick out of some of these because and I understand they're outsourced to a different country because it's cheaper to do so, and they pay these people less. But when somebody says, "Good afternoon, my name is Bob," I'm sorry, your name is what? My name is Bob. I said, no, it's not. Your name isn't Bob. Oh yes, it is. I promise. It's like it's like, no, it's not. Can I have your real name, please, so I know who I'm talking to? And it's like, no, my name is
They are
Bob.
good people. They are good people. They're
And
hardworking
they're
people.
doing the best that they can.
Yes.
And by the way, if I could make just this customer service announcement for everybody, the person that you're talking to on the other end of the line that you're mad at the company for whatever reason, don't take it out on them. They have nothing to do with it. They're just doing the best they can. And when you start berating them for stuff that is totally out of their control, that's just not being a good human, don't you think?
I 100% agree. There is always respect to other people. If you're not happy with the company, you shouldn't take into the person. If this person cannot help you, I usually ask to, can you please escalate the call? And if they don't escalate the call, then maybe going to be more mad on them. But I think it's my idea and my privilege to able to escalate the call if I'm not getting something from the person for the service I'm calling to. It was an interesting example. A few weeks ago, I opened a support ticket. It was a chat with a human being, and the person jumped on a call. And I was kind of unhappy what was happening. It was actually a smart device that's supposed to measure my health. And I went snowboarding, and the smart device stopped working after 2 hours. And then it would again stop working after 2 hours. So I opened a support call, and the person answered first was, "Hi, my name is Bob. I like long walk on the beach and a sunset." I'm like, dude, I happy for you, but I don't care right now. I paid a lot of money for something. I don't know what you want to do after work. Let's understand and fix the problem.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. By the way, we are talking with the author of Architecting Success: The Art of Soft Skills in Technical Sales, and Connect to Sell More. I assume when you say connect to sell more, you're talking about making that human connection.
100%. I need to find you, people that listen to us, need to find a hook to the other human being to be able to connect. This could be something they learn about them online. This could be something they learn with them during the conversation. Because everybody in my mind can associate to an idea. When you go into a function, when you go into a party, there are certain people you start talking to them, and like, oh my God, I can talk to you forever. And other people like, you not really connect with them. So if you can create a scenario, if you can create a way where it's going to be easier for the other person to connect with you, and you're going to try to connect with them, and it's mean not being fake. It's mean you care about the other person. You're trying to find something interesting and in common to talk about it. It's definitely interesting. And not just interesting, I think it's good as well. And people, we started the conversation from education customers. People feel that you're faking. People will feel that just playing the game and not real.
I couldn't agree more. I got an interesting story about that when we come back from this break. Um, and the premise of the story is my son and I co-signed for a loan for him to get it, which by the way, uh, rethink that. But anyway, I did, and he had it on automatic payment, and it was $550 a month, but the automatic payment was $550.37. When we come back, I'll explain the call that I had with the person who called in to say that we were 32 days late on 32 or 37 cents and how that turned out. We'll be right back.
Last week, Brandon met a girl on a dating app. One day after work, he finally found the courage to ask her out. No answer. He started to panic. Was he being too pushy? Maybe it was too...
Hey, sorry I didn't respond. I was driving. I would love to go on a date. How does tonight sound?
Brandon tried to play it cool, but inside he knew. A girl so smart, so responsible. She must be a keeper.
And welcome back to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. We're talking with, and I'm not going to screw up his name again, so I'm going to have him screw up his own name.
Evgeny. It's Evgeny.
Say it a little louder and a little slower.
Evgeny.
Evgeny, and he's written the book Architecting Success. He's also a coach, and he helps you with training, and he can do big business and little business and any business in between. And he can go and really help your team. But let me finish this story. So the customer service gal calls me because I'm also on the loan, and she says, "You're in default." And I said, "In default? What? And I thought he had it on an automatic payment. Well, he does, but it's 37 cents short. So now you're 22 days behind, and there's a late fee of $25 for 37 cents. Now, this particular gal took pity on me, and she goes, "Look, I realize this is really stupid." But she said, "Why don't you send me a payment with your debit card of $1, and then he's up to speed. We'll waive the late fee, and then everybody's good. And then I could go to my son and say, "Son, you owe me $1." And but that was really good from my perspective. That was really good customer service because I was giggling all over the place because it was like it costs the company a whole lot more to pay that person for the 10 minutes she spent on the phone with me than to recover 37 cents.
100% agree. And in many cases, if you're talking about customer success or customer service, people in the customer service not always aligned that if somebody calls them, as you mentioned, angry, you cannot right away calm them down. You need to let them kind of tell everything they think, like, okay, okay, and only then try to fix the problem. Because
And
fixing the
don't take it
problem right
personally.
away, yes, fixing problem right away may not always help because they actually need to take the steam out. They need to decompress a bit. And smart people that been around, usually it comes with kind of time you understand this part, like, oh, okay. So you don't really have a problem. You're just angry and you need to talk about it with someone.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times we have been on the phone for a half hour, 45 minutes. We got other stuff we'd like to do. And then we keep getting this annoying message that says, and we're on other calls right now, and we'll be right back as soon as we have a free moment, and or something like that. And it just
This is,
drives you
yeah,
crazy.
this is her. See, this is unfortunately, some people change it, leave your phone, they'll call you back. There is many different options. But we're coming also, if you think about that, we're coming to the point when you may go to ChatGPT or any similar service and ask a question versus calling customer success or customer services.
I'm kind of scared of those days, coming up because I think you're absolutely right. It'll be like, and how may I help you now, please? They
Hmm.
sound better.
Yeah.
They sound better. It is great that you are now. Are you still doing cybersecurity, or are you?
I'm still doing cybersecurity consulting. This is still the main way to bring money to the table. But soft skills is not just a hobby anymore because I think it's integrated part of my life, and this why I'm helping people and I coaching people, and I hope people to be better communicator, connectors, and succeed with life as well.
And this is something I always say when we talk about sales, and that is, and I firmly believe this, and I know this to be true, is that if you have a youngster who you would if you let me put it another way if you have a youngster, put them in um, drama and put them specifically in um, um, okay okay put them in drama and let them learn about how to act and how to speak in front of people and those sorts of things. Oh, and I was trying to say, apparently I'm getting old, young man, because I was trying to say improvisational drama. I
Yes.
mean, you get to think on your feet, you get to understand what the other person is saying. You have to listen very carefully. By the way, I wanted to ask you, how important is listening when you're in the sales process?
100% important. And it's interesting because people say you should be have active listening, active listening. But if we kind of dial back, how you can have active listening if you don't have a curiosity, if you don't care about the other person? Many salespeople just kind of continue talking without listening to what you're saying. So they have like a basically a framework and they're like moving in their framework and they don't care about what you're saying, as you mentioned with the guys in the couch. They didn't care that you want to buy the couch right now. They needed to tick all the boxes in their framework the way they sell. But if you actively listen, if you actively care about the other person, then you can do that. And if you move it even for deeper, if I'm actively listening, then can I kick in empathy, and if I have empathy, now I can understand you more. Oh, okay. But if I'm not actively listening, I'm not able to catch that I need to kick my empathy in. And empathy could be not just bad. Somehow, empathy in many cases, like, oh, something bad happened to you. Let me be with you. No, it could be something good. You got the couch. You happy with the couch, or whatever it is. You continue with the idea that you emphasize with the person because something good happening as well. So your question about actively listening is very important because it can move you to where continue to be quiet and let the customer talk, or now time to talk and move the conversation left to right.
Well, and the cool thing that it can do is that if you're listening to the customer, and then maybe they've picked out, like we use the couch, maybe they've picked out a couch, and they're saying, "Yeah, I like this couch, and I want to get this couch and stuff." And then you ask them a question. Well, what are you looking for in a couch? Well, I'm just looking for to sit down, or I really would like a reclining couch, but they're way too much money and I can't afford. And then it opens up the door for you to say, well, what if I could show you one of those that is about the same price as what you're looking at here? But you probably might like it better, and you probably just didn't see it because we've got so many couches in inventory here. And then you're providing, not only are you potentially increasing your sale, you're also providing heightened customer service because the customer is getting what they actually want because you're listening to what they say. Is that good?
Think it's very good because you're adaptive to the customer. You give them choices. You're not just kind of steering them one way. And I think is the adaptability is definitely another key point. You mentioned something interesting in the beginning about tools because there is many different tools we can work with the customer and employ them when we need to, not just follow one framework or one structure.
Right. That's very important. If somebody wants to work with you, how do they do it?
The first thing is connect with me, send me an email. Probably the easiest way to connect with me is go to LinkedIn. I spend quite a lot of time there. Type my name, Evgeniy Kharam, Evgeniy Kharam, or the website I mentioned before, softskillstech.ca or .com. There's a form there to connect with me and start working with me, and we'll go from there.
And I really like that. I I'm sure this works for in your business as well. If somebody says, I have a guy that wants to buy some of your stuff, but I don't know how to present that, and I don't know how to frame it to him. Why don't you just do the easy thing? You want to work with him, just give him a call. He's the expert. He can handle all that stuff, and you don't have to worry about it.
100%.
And also, by the way, he'll do it faster and more economically, and it'll be easier.
Didn't say economically, I didn't promise this part.
Well, okay. I oversold you a little bit.
I was
But that happens too when you oversell something. And let's see, before we go, and Jessica says, thanks for a great listen. She learned a lot. And Jessica, thank you so much for participating with us. We really appreciate it. And if you want to find out more, give him a call, or give him go to LinkedIn. And there's only one name spelled like that in the world, I think. So you'll find him. So
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you have a great day. Everybody take care and enjoy your afternoon or evening or morning, whichever it happens to be for you. And we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode of Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Our purpose is to provide everyone with a positive, entertaining, and educational experience. I would love your feedback and comments about the show, including possible topics and great guest suggestions. Please email me at kevin@kmmedia.pro. And remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we've got. That's Kevin@kmmedia.pro.